Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine. It's your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham, episode number 619. And here I am faltering in my intro. Today we're going to have a chat about cookie consent, specifically as it applies to Australian businesses, what it means, and why we're seeing so many cookie banners popping up on Australian sites asking us whether they can track our cookies or not. I know, it sounds like you're Red Riding Hood or something, doesn't it? So let's just start with, have you noticed when you go to a website these days, you get a pop-up saying, can we collect your data? We use cookies to collect your data. Click here to give us permission to do so. Click here to customize your experience. That's because a couple of years ago, the European Union decided to bring out their privacy law. It's called the GDPR. Please don't ask me in this episode what it stands for. I cannot remember. My brain is not going there at the moment. And the GDPR basically requires explicit permission for businesses to be able to track what someone does on their website. Now, why am I saying that in relation to cookies? Well, that's what cookies are. Cookies are a small text file that sits on your computer. Now, some of them are really useful and some of them are absolutely essential for a website to run. If you've ticked a remember me box on a login, that login is generally saved in a cookie, in a little text file on your computer. If you are buying things and you've got things in shopping carts, they're generally written to a cookie. If you have had an offer pop up like join our newsletter and get 10% off, and you've said, no, I don't want to, go away, don't show this to me again, that information is generally written into a cookie file. They're called essential cookies. Now, there are other cookies. They're called non-essential cookies, or they're classified as non-essential cookies. And they're the ones that track what we do, what pages we read, which links we click, and when we click off of a site, which site we visit afterwards. Now, they only work on the site that we're on, so they don't track you across everything you do, but they do track you for everything you do on someone's website. Now, they're gold mines for businesses because they tell you things about what your visitors are interested in. You can pull a whole heap of information out of it. If you want to go and do your advertising, you can use those cookies to do things called re-advertising. Oh, you came to my site, so now when you go back to Facebook starts to show you ads about what you visited on that other site. That's kind of how Facebook does it, among other techniques. And I know people think their phones listen to them. They probably do. But they're called non-essential cookies, and it's there where the cookie consent actually comes in. That is why different countries and different regions have decided that it needs to be called out. And we need to give permission. Now, we need to give permission one way or the other. We need to give implicit permission, which means somewhere on the site there is a statement that says what information is being tracked, how it's being tracked, what it's being used for. And if we continue to use the website, then we are giving them permission implicitly to do that. The EU went the other way and they were asked for explicit permission. You've got to tick the box to say yes, or click the yes button to say, yes, I agree. Before I go into why we're seeing that here in Australia, what I want to talk about is how Australia has approached that for Australian businesses. Now, remember, the country's Australian privacy principles apply to Australia. They may apply internationally, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. At the moment, I'm talking to Australian businesses and what we need to think about to comply with our own privacy laws. We don't have a dedicated cookie law. We don't have a dedicated privacy law that really relates to the internet, not like the GDPR does. Our cookies fall under the Privacy Act of 1988. Now, that law is about how businesses collect, store, and use personal information. So the test is if a cookie we are saving can identify someone indirectly or directly, then it may, notice the may be covered by the Privacy Act. So we need to be up on that. Then we also have what was written a couple of years later as the internet did gain popularity, the Australian Privacy Principles, APPs. These set out the rules. Businesses have to be transparent about the personal data they collect and why they're collecting it. But the APPs stop short of forcing every website to display a cookie banner. What our laws state is that we have to have a clear privacy policy on our site. We have to have a privacy policy that spells all that out for people. People can go and read it. They can decide if they want to stay on our website. If Yeah, it's the privacy policy. Sorry, I'm just trying to segue this into my next bit. We need to have the privacy policy. That's all we need. And that's the key difference between us and the EU and most areas in the world and the EU and the GDPR. Our permission for our businesses is implicit as long as we've put it into our privacy policy and our privacy policy is well written and we actually do the things we say in our privacy policy, we're sweet. We don't have to do anything more. The GDPR, however, is explicit. Why do I keep going back to the GDPR? Because the GDPR is written in such a way that if someone from the EU, one of the EU countries, visits your website, you are bound by the GDPR. If it is shown that you have cookies that track someone from the EU, you will be in breach of the GDPR and you may be fined under the GDPR by the EU. Practically, will that happen? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. It's a risk, and it's a reasonable risk for any businesses. So, what have Australian businesses opted to do in general? Well, you've got two things you can do, right? If you're gonna run a website, there's two things you can do. You can block traffic from the EU and say, nope, you can't come to our website, or you can put up a GDPR compatible permission gathering tool and say, yep, you're coming to my website, tick the box, and we now have your explicit permission. That doesn't mean you don't need to have a clear, accessible privacy policy. You still need to have that because you've got to comply with Australian law. But if you are going to allow people from anywhere in the EU to access your site, you are actually going to need a cookie banner. If you don't want to run a cookie banner, you are going to have to set your website up to block traffic from the EU. I don't know there's any other way around it. Yeah, I just don't know if there's any other way around it. So in Australia, what does it all mean? It means that we need to have privacy policies. They need to be written in compliance with our privacy laws and the Australian privacy principles. But we also, if we're going to be trading on the global stage, need to make sure we're addressing the laws and the policies that have been implemented in other countries to protect their citizens as well. I hope that makes sense to you. I guess the last note I have here, it's not just about legal compliance. This is about building trust with people who use your site. That know you, like you, trust you, way of building an audience, building loyal customers. Does it hurt to put up a cookie banner? No, not really. It's a little bit of effort, but it doesn't hurt. Even if you're not sure if you kept doing, sorry, even if you're not sure you're running cookies that will do that tracking, you're probably good to put up one and say we use cookies on this site. If you don't want to use the site, please go away. Otherwise, click the button to be able to proceed. I don't know. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, to be perfectly honest. I think you should be doing it. Don't go to my website yet. I think we should be doing it, if only because you don't want to run afoul of anyone else. You don't want to run afoul of someone's rules and laws and have them come after you and fine you on an international stage. I do like the idea, though, that it's about building trust and it's about appearing to be trustworthy with people, with people who might become your customers. I'd love your thoughts. Let me know. It's a bit of a different episode this time. Let me know what you think. Come across to my community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. You can join the conversation there. Of course, you are always welcome to leave comments on these videos wherever you are watching or listening to them. If this video was useful to you, consider giving it a like. And if you haven't, and maybe share it with someone. I've got to really stop jumping ahead on myself. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And guys, I'll see you the day after tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.